We're going to start off with a prayer by Pastor Brian.
God our Father, Father of life, Father of life, thank you for this day of promise, this day of compassion and love. Pray now, God, that your blessings and favor will cover this divine moment. For you yourself was born a homeless child, seeking asylum in a land called Egypt. Pray, God, that as we move forward, you would impress upon this city to be Christ-like in our demonstrations of love, feeding and giving shelter to the homeless of our race. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Thank you very much. We are here today because Philip Bryan is being prevented from feeding the homeless as his religious convictions dictate according to the Holy Bible. In the Holy Bible, it says time and time again to feed the homeless. It's one of the biggest tenets of the Christian religion. And he merely wants to practice his Christian religion. He drives around with food with him and water, and if he sees 5 or more homeless people, or less than 5 people, he wants to be able to feed them and give them water. However, the city of Houston has criminalized this behavior with fines of up to $2,000. And even though it's just a Class C misdemeanor, you can actually be jailed for Class C misdemeanors. So it's an oppressive fine and the possibility of being jailed. So what we've done is we filed a lawsuit under the Texas Freedom of Religion law as well as the Texas Constitution. And we filed it in the state district court on Wednesday night. And so what we're saying to the city of Houston is, do not trample upon people's religious freedom. And by the way, to feed the poor is not just a Christian tenet, but it's a humanist tenet, it's a Muslim tenet, it's a tenet of Judaism, and other religions. So we're not just talking about one single religion, we're talking about most every religion. So we're here today to say, the city of Houston, we've shown you a 75,000 name petition to get rid of this law. Houston, we've given you 40, 50,000 signatures to put it on the ballot, and you shot that down. So we're here today to say, we're on to the next step. We're going to go to the court system. That's what we've done. And I want to introduce co-counsel, Eric Dick. Yeah, Randall Callanan, Randall Kallinen, and I'm one of the lawyers for the plaintiff, Philip Bryan, in this case.
I'm Eric Dick. I'm a Department of Education trustee, vice president there, and also I'm an attorney representing Philip Paul Bryan. This is really, 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 really simple. Jesus Christ said, share food with the poor. If you look at, in the scripture, it talks about him sharing bread and fish at the Sea of Galilee. Philip Paul Bryan does the same thing. He gives out cans of tuna and crackers to the homeless, gives them water. It's just basic human rights, basic human dignity. That's all he wants to do. He wants to do the right thing. This law that was passed, the charitable feeding ban, it criminalizes charity. It criminalizes being a good Samaritan. It's an ill-will, a mean-spirited law. It's wrong. And Sylvester Turner, if you're listening to this, you need to change it right now. Because if he doesn't change it now, we're going to change it in the court system. I've sued him before, and I'll sue him again. You need to do this. This is right. This is the right thing to do, is to be able to freely give food to the homeless. So many people have reached out to me. So many people have reached out to my client over the past 5 years. Let us give food freely to those that need it. There's no reason not to. There's plenty of existing laws to prevent whatever ill will, whatever harebrained concoction you think this law's there for. Let Philip Paul Bryant and countless others freely give food. Thank you all very much. And Philip Paul Bryant's going to say a few words.
Thank you so much. First, I'd like to thank a couple of pastors, local pastors who've joined us, Kubashis who've been the trailblazers for causes like this and other causes. 2 points of clarity I'd like to make. First, there's no ill will toward the mayor, city council, or city of Houston government. We have the utmost respect and admiration for what they're trying to do in the day-to-day efforts. Specifically, Mayor Turner was given over 30 years of community service to human rights and other causes. I just want to say that there's no animosity, nothing specifically against the city of Houston, Mayor Turner, or former Mayor Parker, in which this law was actually passed on. Second, they just got it wrong on this particular point. Second point, I'm just one individual who's passing out food just because it's the right thing to do. But there's countless other organizations. There's hundreds of great organizations who putting in more effort, who's doing a better job than I'm doing. I just so happen to be the one that they called on and asked to go ahead and take this to the next level. And there's tens of thousands of taxpaying citizens who just want to go to work, take care of their family, law-abiding, Bible-packing, God-fearing people who don't want to be criminalized whenever they're prompted or urged to try to help people. And so we just want to make sure that we're partnering with the city when we're trying to do good versus the city discouraging. Thank you.
We have a few more community speakers. We have the president of the organizations who would like to say a few words.
Hi, my name is Debbie Williams. I'm the president of TVs in Houston. We have a monthly community giveaway that was shut down last month because of this ordinance. We don't give away hot food, we give away toiletries and other things. And maybe we aren't curing street living or anything, but in that moment when they have a clean pair of socks and some oranges, they feel human. And this prevents us as humanists from following our conscience, our religious and belief that helping others is of value to all of us, not just the people in the community that we're meeting with directly, but also Houston as a whole. We are better people when we take care of the least fortunate in our communities, and I strongly hope that we can move forward with that as this lawsuit moves forward. Thank you.
Councilmember Michael Kubosh, and thank all of you for being here today. Criminalizing the giver of food to the poor and the needy is simply wrong. And I did everything I could when I first got elected to get it back on the agenda for a vote. That highlights one of the major problems with our city government, is that a council member cannot put an issue on city council agenda, and that makes it wrong. And I say you're doing right. Let's keep the push up, and let's get this law changed, and let's get it out of the courts, and let's get the people having the right to feed those that are needy and hungry in our community without government intervention. Thank you.
Next, we're going to have Nick Cooper say a few words about moms who feeds the homeless.
Hello, my name is Nick Cooper. I'm a volunteer with Houston Food Not Bombs, and we have been sharing food with homeless people for over 20 years now, just a block away from City Hall. Sometimes the city council members and the mayor make decisions for the homeless without really talking to any homeless people, and it's very easy to just come join us 4 nights a week. We're there Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 o'clock in front of the library, and Sunday nights at 7. Have a meal, talk to some homeless people. We have wonderful, healthy meals, and we have noticed that since this law has gone into effect, that people have become more desperate for food. Part of the reason for that is that uncoordinating sharing of food, when you don't know ahead of time when and how much food you're going to have is essential and has been essential to getting food to homeless people. So if you're at an office party or a house party and you're like, look, we have all this leftover food, let's go downtown and share it. For the last 5 years, people have had this concern in the back of their heads, oh, I think there's some law about that. I better not do that. I know you're supposed to ask permission first, but it's Saturday night and I don't even know who to ask permission to, even if the office was open. So what's happened is that people have been intimidated. This has created a crisis of food in the streets, and that's one of the many reasons why this law simply needs to be modified or erased into something that is no longer punitive, that no longer has $2,000 fines. This is something that the mayor could have done very easily when he first came into office. It's something he could do very easily now, and it's past time that he does it.
Thank you. Next we have Chris Carmona.
It's ironic that we're here on Good Friday, a day of abstinence and fasting from us, for it's a luxury, right? But for the homeless and the less fortunate, it's not a luxury they can just elect to take in, a religious holiday year in and year out. 5 years ago, when this started, we sat up there at City Council, we stood and we said, if y'all pass this, we're going to fight it until it's overturned. And as time goes by, our convictions don't change. It's still a violation of our First Amendment rights. It's still a violation of our right to express our religious freedom as we see fit. One of the groups I work with, Noah's Kitchen, was forced to move out of the city because, again, the criminalization of charity. We will continue to fight this every step of the way. The mayor and city council didn't want to do it the right way with the petition drive, so we'll do it the hard way through the court system. Thank you.
Chris, what's your name again?
Chris Carmona, Carmona.
I wanted to now do a demonstration of what the law apparently is forbidding, and we have Sherry to demonstrate with 6 sandwiches and cakes. How about it?
6 sandwiches here.
6 sandwiches.
And do the individuals have one? 1, 2. And this sandwich alone, I've already said 5. This sandwich alone can get me a ticket or get me put in jail. 6, right?
Yes.
There it is. The horrendous crime that the city of Houston has outlawed.
6 people.
Next we have Pastor Brian. I'd like to say a few words.
Prince Brian, second local pastor here in the city, and just completely outraged at the inconsideration that's demonstrated by the city of Houston for feeding homeless. The homeless are humans, they are people. They deserve, as one gentleman articulated, random acts of kindness. The idea that the city should be able to profit off of compassion and kindness of humans is ridiculous. The idea that the city should be generating revenue from something that's done out of the goodness of someone's heart is ridiculous. It's really time for us to decriminalize human activity. This is a civil rights issue. This is a human rights issue. This is a common sense issue. There's, as previously mentioned, there's no vendetta against the city. But on occasion, the city does not have the proper constructs in place to make decisions on behalf of all the community. They should have come to the table with the homeless, with charitable organizations, with pastors and local leaders, and devise a plan that addresses everyone's concerns. And so when you have issues that are not done properly on the front side, then it leaves us to be reactionary and pursue whatever causes and avenues that we have to bring justice and bring compassion back to the forefront. In 2017, the selfie generation, everybody's concentrating on themselves and their imagery, projecting on social media. This is a throwback idea that we can be selfless, that we can give, that we can share out of our abundance to those who have great need. some of these homeless people are not bad people. They're just falling on hard times. Some have mental issues that they can't get the proper medication for. But they're still humans. They deserve the kindness of other humans. We live this life, and our life is measured not how long we live, but how much we can give in that lifestyle. And so I pray that the city reconsiders, and that any person that wants to be a part of this movement, just make contact with Philip Paul Bryant. You can make any type of donation. We have other petitions that you can sign and connect with this movement. This is a movement for the people, for people, and we invite everyone that can be a part of it. Thank you so much.
We will now take questions that the media has.
Yes. Yes.
There's been a lot of kind of gauging the box out of the fellow councilors. What do you think the sentiment is now? How do you think the vote would go? Do you think that people, there are people who will follow what this group would like to have and resemble?
I believe that the vote would be close. I think that there are many that have a lot of consternation about bringing back this ordinance for a vote because they have to rescind the vote they had, and there was a lot of pressure put on them to begin with because that's just the way our city government works. In our city government, the mayor is the head of the executive branch and also the chief of the legislative branch. And so therefore, by controlling the agenda, keeps that agenda, this item off the agenda. I've brought it up many times in council, in the past administration and in the current administration. This ordinance is wrong.
This lawsuit comes in a city council has passed a text. And restricting the ability to use so much money. Is there any kind do you feel like this is, are you pushing back? What do you think of those?
Well, there have been a lot of measures over the years by the city of Houston to outlaw what I like to say is homeless behavior. It seems like all these things are directed at whatever the homeless people would commonly do. And so these laws, and there's about 4 of them that I can name: the anti-civility ordinance, this new ordinance regarding panhandling and fence, and so forth, the anti-feeding ordinance, the trash receptacle ordinance law. All these are designed to take away the rights of the homeless, and in other cases, the rights of other people who want to help the homeless. And a person who knows a lot about the tent and ordinance and the recent anti-paneling ordinance is right here. Maybe you'd like to say a few words. Sherry Dory.
Hi guys, my name is Sheree Dore, S-H-E-R-E-D-O-R-E. I'm one of the individuals who had headed up a group of individuals, including the homeless community, to fight against the encampment ordinance with the city of Houston. We had hundreds of homeless people fill out surveys echoing their distaste for this ordinance, and we have directly asked the mayor several times, after the 30 days is up and this law becomes effective, what happens to the homeless people thereafter? And the city of Houston has yet to give any answers. There are no satellite locations that the homeless can go to. So basically the homeless are out on their own, and it puts pressure back on people like myself as an advocate to try to find where the homeless can go and feel safe without being criminalized at the same time.
Thank you.
On the day of the vote, we heard the E word, enable. That giving food to the homeless is enabling, or allowing the tents is enabling. I'd like somebody to talk about that.
Real quick, it enables them to eat.
It enables them to survive. That's what all of this is. This is basic survival for the homeless community. We're not asking for anything more, not 4-star hotels or, food on a silver platter. We're just trying to take care of their basic needs, and that's not enabling.
Speaking
No,
of
it's
enabling, when the city pushes agenda items like this, what does enable is the need for the city to grow bigger. Because when you have homeless people displaced from the streets, where are they going to build? They're going to build some other structure, right? Who's going to fund that? The government, the city. then who's going to hire these people? The city. It's going to create jobs for the city, and it's going to be city bureaucracy that controls it. So when we talk about enabling, that's what happens is when we displace the homeless people, we're enabling the city to grow larger. And I think we're all against that, especially on this issue.
And I would like to point out that when these things first come up in the city of Houston, they don't speak about helping the homeless. That's not what they speak about. They speak about, well, this business in the downtown area doesn't like the homeless people here. This business, this landowner, this business, this landowner, this business. And that's the people who come out and speak, are the people who have the homeless around them on the public spaces. Homeless people cannot be in the private spaces because they're not renting private spaces, they don't own private spaces, so they must be in the public sector. And to take away their rights and the rights of others in order to move them around from here to there is not right. Furthermore, when they first passed this anti-feeding ordinance, we were at City Hall, a whole bunch of people, and we asked the city, we said, did you ever find one example of anybody getting sick by any of these millions of feedings over the years? And they said no. They affirmatively said no. So this concept that it's for the health, that was added afterwards. That's just like an excuse. Thank you.
Thank you. So Councilman Kubash, is this a money deal? Is this about money that comes down to it?
You know, it's hard to believe it's not. You know, it's the famous quote was, "Follow the money." You know, so let's follow the money, and you'll see where it goes.
I want to thank everybody for coming out, and if you have any questions for any individuals, feel free to engage them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.